Welcome to Draft Nerds. As always, it's me, Jagger, and that is Andrew Mott. And I just came back from the combine. You just got done watching, and we have risers and fallers. Them Styles brothers, Sonny and Lorenzo Styles. Sonny Styles basically had a perfect RAS score, relative athletic score for you with questions on there. 4.46, 40, 43 and a half vertical, 11 inch broad jump, or excuse me, 11 foot 2 inch broad jump. His shuttle time, 4.2 seconds. I mean, everything is what you want. I will say, I don't want to double count Sonny Styles. I told you in the group chat is that we knew he was athletic. We knew all these things here. There are still some holes in his game, but the upside is there. And then there's Lorenzo Styles. He was on no one's top 100 list up until now. That might change, and it might be a go back to the tape type thing. I got to ask you, does this matter to you? How significant is this to you? And I know like the defense isn't your thing as much, so I'm kind of asking as a whole on how you consider athletic testing. It doesn't even matter that it's just these two defensive guys, but wide receiver, quarterback, it's pretty much useless. Shout out to Anthony Richardson. So,
yeah, and maybe a guy like Taylor Green, who it might be a little bit useless to know how fast he is. But yeah. I think for me, it's really like, if I had to give it a percentage of how much do I care about combine testing numbers, I think I care more about negative combine testing numbers than I do positive. I think in general, it's less than 10% for me from their entire scouting profile. Like it's really just not that big of an issue for me. I think for a guy like Sonny Styles, like you said, we knew he was athletic. I still have questions. And, you know, you talked about him being a converted safety, a guy that's converted to linebacker. All of the comparables, I mean, I know you were there in person, but watching on TV, all the comparables that they're throwing up are Megatron and Kyle Hamilton and these other guys. And it's like, you didn't show me one linebacker that, you know, Sonny Styles compares to. And it's got me questioning, and maybe you have a better feel for it, or maybe this is a question for you. Is like, is this a guy that you could see converting back to safety at the next level potentially, or do you think he's truly just a linebacker from here on out?
I truly think he's a linebacker because he definitely would fit the old school Dante Whitner, Cam Chancellor type. All those guys are linebackers now. My thing is like, everyone's going to think I'm saying he's a bad prospect. He's a great prospect. There's a lot of upside. I just don't think we should overdraft him. Because I told you this in our group chat where like I saw a tweet that said everything that you need to know about Sonny Styles and his draft value, where they said, well, if Devin White was a top 5 pick, then Sonny Styles should be a top 5 pick. I'm like, there are two ways to look at that. Devin White is the prime example where we had this uber athletic guy, but holes in his game, like in the running game. When you're a thinner dude, you get bullied a little bit. That doesn't mean he's not going to be great. I'm just saying you're going to be talking about, well, why didn't you draft this other edge rusher, like Cassius Howell, who we're going to talk about, and you drafted Sonny Styles. Why didn't you draft? You could have got Caleb Downs. Let's say like he's probably going to fall a little bit from not working out. That's going to be my question there, because my grade for him is an 84. His PFF grade was an 88. Those are great grades, but those are top 5 pick grades. Those are top 20. Those are first round grades. So that's where I'm at with you, man. It's like all those things you worried about. I don't think he's going to move to safety, but he is a linebacker that plays like a safety, and his value is in the passing game, which we still run the football in this league. You know, it's just a lot to absorb. You know,
it's another. What's the? I'm spacing his name. I thought about it the other night. That got drafted by Arizona and had to do all the converting at the next level.
Isaiah Simmons. Yes. Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of like the same type of archetype of player, in my opinion.
Yeah. Right now, the hype is so unreal, and we do this year in and year out. Every position we do this, because there's another guy having a winner here where I'm like, yeah, he's athletic. His tape, not so hot. You know, it's just not so high. And I love that you said it's 10%, and it's the guys who do bad that are at a worry. And even that doesn't matter. You know, some of them like, yeah, Denzel Boston, I knew you were slow, buddy. Like, you know, like you could have ran, man, as long as you weren't running a 4.8, you know, I'm fine. Like if you ran a 4.6, I'm like, yeah, he looks like a 4.6 guy. But Keenan Allen couldn't run out of a horror movie, you know, but look at him, a perennial Pro Bowler. You know? Yeah. So it's it's the underwear Olympics through and through. And us guys like us that we study this game, we know better. And I'm not trying to like talk down in the audience or anything, but like the average Joe who isn't a sicko about it, they're going to be really salivating over these numbers, and they're going to get the clicks and the views and all that stuff. And that's what this is, because the real value of the combine, interviews. That is the big thing, is interviews with these players and everyone networking. I mean, players, media, it's a giant circle jerk. The underwear Olympics, that is some part of it, but it's kind of less what it's for. So I just want to let you guys know that. And we're actually going to talk about those interviews in a minute.
I was going to say that's a good point, because that workout, whatever, and feel like it's getting worse and worse every year, because just so many more guys are just choosing not to do drills or not to work out every single year that we go do this. But I think it's good to remember that the workouts are there for, spreadsheets for these scouts at the NFL level. They're there for entertainment for the NFL fans, some confirmation. But the real reason why these guys are there is because they get to be in front of these coaches and interview with these guys in a private, controlled environment.
Yes, exactly. And we're going to talk about those interviews. Before we go, we did it, guys. We're 1,000. I'm sure someone else has celebrated, but I've been gone, and I'm going to celebrate. Thank you. We're going to keep on growing. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe button. Over on the audio side, leave us those reviews. Give us your opinion. Like I said, we're draft first over here, and not so much like our sister over there, Dynasty Nerds. But you'd want to be a part of the Nerd Herd regardless, because we still have a lot of the draft process to go. And if you want to be as educated or more educated than all of your other friends, you want to be a part of the Nerd Herd, where I'm watching tape, Andrew's watching tape. We have pretty much anything on a skill position that you want. We have premium articles, a whole lot of stuff, and you get to join our Discord. There's a lot of things that make it worth it. I feel like the film room is invaluable. So like, subscribe, go over and join our Nerd Herd today. Now, to go to the interviews, the winners we'll get through quickly on here, because for winners on wide receivers, did you go out and test? Did you have a good workout as far as your drills? None of these guys stood out to me to where it was like, man, shoot him at draft board. Jacoby Lane, I didn't even tell the group this. I rewatched his tape while I was like on plane, stuff like that. I did not like his 2025 tape that much. And I've been like one of the biggest on here, but he's another one of those dudes with mystery injuries. After the combine, he ran a 4.4. I'm like, he did not look like a 4.4 in 2025. I looked at his 2024 tape again, and he looked faster. So maybe the injuries are there. I don't know about you. All I did was increase his speed score by 1. I'm not going crazy with moving everything around, because it's one piece of the puzzle. It moved him up a little bit. Chris Brazzell was a big winner for me, because I just think he's not the typical Tennessee wide receiver. A lot of things that I liked. Going out and running a 4.3 is huge. Antonio Williams, you were an Antonio Williams guy early, dog. He had a great day. The arm length is good. He had really good athletic scores, came out and competed, had really good workouts. He's going to play somewhere. I'm not saying he's going to be even a second round pick, but he's going to land somewhere third or fourth round, and he's going to play and come out and compete. So I feel good. Do you have any other significant risers?
Well, no, I just want to tack on to the Antonio Williams. Like, he's a guy that early on, the reason why I liked him was he's a guy who performed early in college. Like, we like to see those guys that break out early in college. They perform. Some things didn't happen for him in Clemson in 2025, but he's a guy who's a very savvy route runner. He's very skilled with, his route tree. I think he's going to plug into a slot role somewhere and be a guy that you can just rely on as a very good, reliable slot in the NFL. So he's definitely somebody that I think was pretty undervalued coming into the NFL Combine. I'm going to be interested to see how he kind of rises from a general consensus point of, where does he end up going in some of these mock drafts? I still think he's probably a guy that we may already be into a point where a lot of people are starting to get take lock, and he might just generally fall into a day 3 guy naturally. But I think he's going to be a steal in day 3, and we could see a guy who comes in and is a really good fit for an NFL offense. So he's somebody that I liked. You brought up the other ones, Lane, Brazzell. I thought I'm going to bring up, we're not really getting into losers, and I don't think he's a loser, but I will say I felt like Carnell Tate was going to run a little bit faster than he actually did. He looked faster on tape than he came out and ran in that 40. Did you think he was going to run faster than that 4.5?
I thought he was going to come out sub 4.4 for sure. I will say, big controversy on the ground. This has already made it to Twitter. Is that a lot of coaches thought that he timed faster than what the official one was, and even was it Brandon Bean on the broadcast even said it's like, oh, he's slow, don't draft him. Like this is a Stephen A. Smith. Like we don't care. No one cares like about a 4.5. That's kind of wanted to bring up like KC Concepcion. I think it's a joke, man, that some of these guys like, well, I'm not going to run. It's like, buddy, if you weren't going to run, that means you're going to run a 4.5, not a 4.4. Okay.
That's the thing. Like him, because I thought it was very important to go see Casey run. I needed to see Casey's speed because I think he's fast on tape. I just need the confirmation bias. And I thought the same thing with a guy like Mekhi Lemon. Like, I want to see you go out and run, and you don't want to run. Like, now I'm starting to question, are you not as fast as I thought you were? Are you hiding the fact that you're going to be, 4.55 or something like that? And at your size and your role, I need you to be a little bit faster than that. So it's interesting to see that some of these guys aren't running. Maybe this is like the old boomer like mentality, but I feel like if you show up, you got to test, bro. Like, what are we doing, NFL? We can't just pick and choose. Like, you either come and show up and test, or you just don't show up at all. Like, I feel like that's give the invite to somebody else who wants to come show what they got.
And I go back to the same Brandon Bean interview where they said that's what they liked about Josh Allen. He wasn't accurate, but he literally, like, he's running the 3-cone drill, the shuttle drill. He came out and did everything. That's like, I'm going to talk about some of these other guys that were losers. They are losers from a statistical standpoint, but they are winners for coming out and competing for me. Like, I'm going to talk about them later just because, like, again, man, spoilers on Lee Hunter. I knew you weren't athletic, dog. Like, but you came out there and you competed. That matters to me. That actually matters to me more. Like Dante Corleone on the flip side at D-tackle, the Godfather, everyone loves his nickname. I know you're unathletic. The fact that you didn't come out and test, I actually like Lee Hunter more than you. I mean, genuinely, if I'm in a draft room, I'm saying one of these guys came out and said, fuck it, I'm going to come out here and work out anyway. That matters to me. That being competitive, that matters. That's an intangible that shows. It shows in basketball. It shows in the NFL. If you are not competitive, it will show in your play. So go out and compete, because it's like, we're too smart, man. We're too smart. Like, okay, Mekhi Lemon, I know you run a 4.5 now. Like, you didn't like, oh, I don't know. That it's like, I know you run a 4.5.
I'm watching Mekhi Lemon tape, and I'm taking things away, and I'm like, yeah, he's bursty. He has a lot of acceleration, but I feel like the long speed lacks. Like, I'm seeing it on tape, and then you don't want to go give me the long speed testing. So, no, I agree. And to double down with what you said, like, that's a trait that helps you in life in general. Like, we're outside of sports. Like, if you're just willing to go out there, put out your best effort, compete, whatever, do it against, despite what the odds are going to say, like, that's just good in general. So that's just, I like seeing that out of some of these players.
To me, 5 reps on bench press is more than 0. So many people don't do bench press anymore. And I know it doesn't really translate, whatever. It means something, but nothing. But like, hey man, even if you got 5, that's not a lot, but that's still more than someone that didn't compete, and that matters. And then to bring it back, what we were talking about with the interviews, Mekhi Lemon, man, like Mekhi Lemon just had a bad day. His interviews, you guys already saw on Twitter, man. He's been memed to death already. Apparently, that's not even just from the media interviews. That extended all the way into his one-on-one team interviews. They brought out where everyone just got the ick. And this came out from Braden Fayoko, D-tackle on the ground, that a lot of teams, they said that whoever advised him to do that should be fired. I don't know if it's an agent or whatever, but this dude, he wasn't even saying the wrong things. It's how he said it in his entire attitude.
They're calling him a fake demon. They're calling him a fake demon is what they're calling him on the internet.
Yeah, dude. My favorite was Mekhi Lemon Zest. Like
Jalen Ramsey 2.0.
Yeah, dude. It's just, it'd be one thing. And I told this to Alfredo and Sam in the Different Show. I was just like, man, if you would act like that and you ran and you competed, even if you ran a 4.5, you competed, you would look good. This, and I don't know if you've seen this yet, he's not listening during drills. They were talking about.
I saw that. I saw that. And it was like run like 3/4 tempo, and then he didn't, and the football sailed over his head.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like he wasn't listening. Like I don't know if he's going to fall out of the first round. I wouldn't be surprised if he did at this point because those interviews matter so much. And I want to look up the guy who does this every year where he gives interview scores on all these people. It was like year 3, and I'm like, we got to take homie seriously because it is almost a direct correlation to draft capital sometimes. Because like Adonai Mitchell, someone who I liked, horrible interview score, and he fell. At the same time, all it takes is one coach, one team to like him and not care. Because if you look at Brian Daboll, they like that. Malik Neighbors had bad interviews. They said, I like that you complain about not getting the ball. I like the quote unquote dog. So I will say, though, Malik Neighbors didn't look this bad, man. And it wasn't this bad. You heard a few scouts didn't like him. Mekhi Lemon, it's just all doo-doo. So
I am going to rein this back, though, just a little bit because I don't think he should fall out of the first round. Like, I know the interview and I know the other things. Like, I think he's a player that's at worst, it doesn't matter to me how you draw this up in this NFL draft class. He's the 3rd best wide receiver at worst for everybody, I think, for the most part. So he's somebody that I still think needs to go high. I think the talent's still there. I'm willing to chalk it up as a bad day, bad advice, whatever. You had that. Here's the thing, Mekhi, you're going to have a pro day here at USC. You better go out, run that 40. You better run it at a decent speed, and you better go out there and interview a lot better or differently than you do at the combine when you're here. Drop the fake demon. Let's just have a conversation, Mekhi. It doesn't gotta be normal. Yeah, we don't gotta be the super villain of the NFL combine.
Yeah. Like no one asked that out of you. So like, and I agree, man. Like my thing is like, if he fell to like the top of the fur, like that Lad McConkey range, that's fine. Whoever's getting him is getting a discount on a good player. Like I'm not changing any film grade. I don't quantify for that stuff, but I'm just saying that the price of the brick may be at a discount for some of these teams. And I wouldn't take
it. Please have him go play, at a Buffalo, later. Brandon Beane's probably licking his chops right now thinking like, thank you for interviewing so poorly because I would like to take a shot on you in the first round.
Homie has no poker face. That's what he's saying. I go back to the Cardell Tate thing. He's like, oh no, I hope that he sucks so I can
the amount of people, also it's crazy the amount of people that thought he was being serious about calling him slow and like can't sense sarcasm through.
Yeah. Are you being for real? I didn't see that. People thought he was being serious?
No, people thought he was being for real. Like people were like, wow, Brandon Beane might be the worst GM in football, like really discounting Cardell Tate because he thinks he's slow. A 4.5 is not that bad. I'm like, y'all, he was being funny because he wants Cardell Tate to be a Buffalo Bill.
That was the most facetious statement I've ever heard. Like that was just, yeah.
There's people on the internet that thought he was being for real.
Yeah, shame on you, media, for doing, because that's what someone was doing. Moving to the quarterbacks here, we won't spend as much time on this here. And I forgot to put one, and I'm sorry, Pete, if you're watching. But we got to talk about Diego Pavia as well. We'll get to that in a minute. But winners, Ty Simpson and Garrett Nussmeier for me. Nothing changed as far as my ranking and where they're going to go. They just came out and did what they were supposed to do. They did what they were supposed to do. They did the opposite of what Mekhi Lemon and Diego Pavia did there. They did their job. They had a good workout. They had a really good interview. Ty Simpson answered every question you want. Like, you don't have experience. He's like, I played at Alabama for 4 years. So I played against some of the top defenders for 4 years in a row. It just makes a lot of sense there. Like I get it. As far as the losers here, Diego Pavia, interviews, I'm just going to knock me if I missed anything, man. The first one off the bat, they say, you have questions about your maturity. What does that mean? How are you going to fix it? His answer was, you don't become mature until your prefrontal cortex doesn't develop till age 25. So I have a whole year left. What the fuck, man? Sorry for my language, but it's just like, why would you say that? You're not going to be mature for another year. That's basically what you told people in an interview.
And you're an old quarterback coming out of college. Like
yes, like 20. Yes. Then the second thing that he says, they're like, well, what do you offer that other quarterbacks do? He says, check the tape. Okay, not a great answer, bud. Say some football question. You know, we all watch the tape and we're underwhelmed. That's why we're coming to you to talk to you. Then the third thing that comes out, every day something worse has happened. He said, I've been mentored by Johnny Manziel. I believe every word this dude says. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you checked all the boxes. That is everything that I had seen and that has come out from Diego Pavia. But I'll be honest, are we surprised? I don't think anybody is surprised, or you shouldn't be surprised. If you liked what he did in college, there's these guys that go out and play football well in college, but they just don't translate to the NFL game because guess what? The NFL game is also a job. It's a business and it is a sport. So you can go in college and just, you know, mess around, do whatever you want, have fun, party, play football on Saturdays and be good. Like that's fine. Especially when you're not playing a ton of ranked competition and, you know, XYZ. You go into the NFL, now Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, I got to treat this like a job. I got to show up to meetings. I got to show up on time. I got to make sure that I'm watching my film. I'm doing my tape study. I'm doing my treatment. I'm doing my XY. Like, and then Sunday, I got to go out and perform. Like, it's a different game here, man. It's a professional business and a sport when you get to this level. So yeah, I think when you get to, you know, the question of we're worried about your maturity, what do you think about, you know, what can you give us to make us feel better about your maturity? And you're like, well, maybe I'll be mature in the next 364 days. Okay, buddy, never mind. It's good. Go have fun with Theo Vaughn, go to the UFC fights, do whatever you want to do. Like I like going to those things too. I like watching those things too. But you ain't going to do that and be my franchise quarterback, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you better start a podcast with Johnny Manziel, man. You know, like, you know, call it shit asses.
Ask Theo if you can be the guest host on that one.
Exactly. Like, cause it's like you said, man, people are quarterback hungry. I don't know if they're that hungry. And we saw with Shadur Sanders, who had way more steam than you did. We saw him go straight to the shadow realm, which is 5th round of the Browns. That's the shadow realm as it can get, dude. So
and the tape for Shador was better than Diego's.
That was better. Yeah,
like much better.
If it can happen to him, it could happen to you, is what I'm saying. By happen to him, I mean, like, if he went 5th round, what does that say about you, dog? You know, that's a no draft. Congrats, you're a camp arm. Cole Payton is the other loser here. And this is a soft loss here, because again, he didn't significantly move for me. It just kind of confirmed some things that I already saw on tape. And this goes back to what I thought about Will Levis. When I saw his tape, I'm like, he can't throw left. He doesn't open up his hips to make those throws. Those outbreaking throws are a problem. His timing is a problem. When you go back to Nussmeier and Ty Simpson, they've played underneath center. Their drop back, everything is in sync. Kurt Warner had a great tweet that was floating around where he said, don't look at the completions during these drills. Look at how they throw and when they, or how they throw and when they throw. That goes back to the timing on a 5-step. Cole Payton just doesn't have that. His RAS is great, 9.9, but we see that doesn't correlate to being a good quarterback, man. It just doesn't. You got to love a 4.5, a 40-inch vertical jump, a 10-foot broad jump. All these things are great. It just, quarterback is tough, man. And he's a slow processor. He's everything I've ever seen out of a North Dakota State quarterback. That includes Carson Wentz. But with that being said, he has raw talent. And we've seen Josh Allen do it. I'm not saying he's going to be Josh Allen, but I'm saying if I'm going to take someone, I'm sure as hell taking him over Diego Pavia. You know, that's why I said I'm not shadow roaming him. I just definitely think that he's a project and he's not someone I'd want to take even in the 2nd round.
Yeah, I mean, and it comes down to as well, like, you know, you said those guys that still want to go out, they want to prove what they got, you know, wear their heart on their sleeve there at the combine and say, like, this is who I am as a player. If you want me, come get me. Let's work on this. Let's get there. Like, I think Cole Payton has a little bit of that attitude in his game. So I think he's a guy that, you know, I agree. I don't even think he's a round 2 guy. I don't think he's a round 3 guy. He's probably, for me, a day 3 quarterback that probably goes in there and has to work on a couple of the mechanics and some of the processing and the timing and just getting all of that in tune. But we've seen guys go out and fix that. Like, he's somebody that I could see work his way into being a potential bridge quarterback for a team. But I don't know if I ever see him being like, what's your phrase? Jesus has to come down and kiss you on the forehead if he ever wants to be the starter.
Exactly. And like a good start of that to get, I think, Jesus' attention, if the Rams would draft him, let's say they don't get Ty Simpson or any of these guys that we mentioned, in the 4th round, they take a shot on him, I would be excited for that. What I mean excited is like, I have hope that I'm like, hey man, this is the coaching staff that can develop this type of guy to be somebody, and they're not going to force him year 1 to go out, where Quinn Ewers, like the Quinn Ewers situation where, Tua is so bad that we're willing to see how bad you are. I don't think.
And I don't know if you're ready, but it doesn't matter because we're sick of Tua.
Exactly. Whereas like, unless Matt Stafford is injured, you're going to sit here, you're going to learn, you're going to develop. That is an exciting situation for me. Now we're going to move down to running backs.
Do you want to touch on Taylon Green as the Arkansas guy? Because everybody's getting real hyped about Taylon because of the athletic scoring. It's the fastest for a quarterback at a combine ever. He had one of the best RAS scores for a quarterback ever at the NFL combine. Like, does this matter to you though?
No. It doesn't matter. And I know that's terrible. Anthony Richardson, JJ McCarthy. We just talked about Cole Payton. I need you to play quarterback. I need you to play quarterback. And he was inaccurate in drills at times. I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth because I just said this about Cole Payton. It applies for Taylon Green. I am taking shots on this type of guy if I need a quarterback or I don't have a backup in the 4th, 5th round and trying to develop him. I'm just not having high hopes that he's going to be the guy. And that's where I want people to be at. Be excited about him as a developmental player, but know that he probably maybe won't develop.
I fully agree. And I had somebody text me this weekend and they said Taylon Green crazy in all caps with like size and speed. And I was like, yeah, but we knew he was a physical freak. Like you and I have talked about this on this show. Like we knew he was going to test well. We knew he was physical. We knew he was athletic. I said, the problem is that his mechanics are bad. He's terrible. Like the film was underwhelming from him as a quarterback. And so, yeah, people are going to get excited about it. I think to me, it's like one of the players, and this is like where you do your homework before the combine. If you were just being exposed to Taylon Green for the first time, you might think, oh, we got a freak on our hand. Like this is going to be a really under the radar player. But if you watched him beforehand, we knew that this was probably going to happen. Maybe not the best ever. Nobody projects the best ever, but it's like we knew he was going to test well. The problem is not the athleticism. The problem has been the processing and the mechanics.
Yeah, and I'd say Cole Payton is ahead of him just because like he's just more consistent at he does things that are bad, but like, hey man, we just need to fix up your footwork, teach you how to play underneath center. Taylon Green, I feel like he's had a lot of opportunity, and he needs to clean up some things, but it's just been nothing but athleticism for him. Arkansas told you to go out there, be an athlete, do what you can, and that got him some pretty bad habits, which is a perfect segue to our running backs because a really big winner, it's Mike Washington. He had a perfect 10 relative athletic score, 4.33 40-yard dash, 39-inch vertical jump, 10-foot 8-inch broad jump at 6'1" and 223 pounds. We've already talked about him. We were way ahead of this. Garrett was way ahead of this. He's like, hey, I like this dude. He has good receiving chops. He obviously has game-breaking speed and one of the best speed scores at his size. The only hole in his game, man, is pass blocking. That's kind of significant because, yes, I think he is firmly the RB2 for me right now. Firmly the RB2. I wouldn't be surprised if we're complaining about him like we did with Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker because he's in a committee because he doesn't quite do everything together. But again, still a great day. Is he your RB2 now, like firmly, or?
I'm going to go back. I think what I'm going to do is go back and rewatch the tape of Mike Washington just to refresh and see where I'm at with him. I can't tell you whether he is, but honestly, I don't blame anybody if he is, because at the end of the day, like I think he's really the only guy at the running back position outside of Jeremiyah Love that was impressive during the day. Like everybody else was okay. I mean, I don't think there was any like huge losers, but I guess the fact really, if there's not any winners, the whole group as a whole might just be losers in general there too. So it's the running back position, man. We knew it was bad. I think it's getting worse. I'm losing. I got bummed out, man. I'm just going to segue us right here already to the losers because I just want to talk about it. Yeah. I got bummed out by Emmett Johnson. Yeah. He was a guy that I liked the tape. I liked, what we saw. And then he comes out and he runs, what was it, 5.85 RAS. And then what was the 40? It was something like
4.56.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, that's about as worse as we probably could have got for him.
Yeah, to give the audio side, the overview, a 5.85 relative athletic score, 4.56, 40, vertical jump, 35.5, broad jump, 10 foot. That's actually not terrible. This is where it gets bad, man. And here's what I wanted to bring up. I applaud him for competing because not a lot of people did the shuttle or the 3-cone drill, but he arguably might not have should have done it. 4.29 shuttle, 2.95 3-cone drill. This is not good. Let's put it this way. I put all this in a spreadsheet. And then I just have Jim and I gather all this together. Hey, I need this information. Jim, I didn't even see this note. It said, this is the recorded value, though it may be an error. It's actually not, dude. It's
Jim and I know that's bad, but it ain't an error.
Yeah. It's just not good, dude. So I thought that was just hilarious that happened. And I wrote on the sheet, Emmett Johnson, get ready to learn Michael Carter, buddy. And the reason why I say that is you can have good tape, but what translates from college to the NFL, when you are small and you're not very fast, that means you can't offer much in special teams, and that legitimately knocks your value at this stage. And that's why even when Michael Carter, who had production, it's like, man, he's not an every down back. He doesn't pass block very well because he's small. So when he's out there, it has to be an actual passing down where he's running a route. Otherwise, he's a liability. And he can't really return kicks. So what do you got? You got this weird tweener, and that's where Emmett Johnson is. So that's a hit. Jadarian Price, I'm curious where you're at. His testing wasn't bad, but man, he offers nothing in the passing game to where you could significantly grade anything. You can kind of get the vibes of it. You had question marks as him as a pile mover, as a thumper. Then he comes out undersized, and then he just doesn't blow you away. I actually thought he was going to have the Mike Washington type day. That's what I thought he was going to have. Then he doesn't do that. Where are you now? Because he just seems like a committee guy at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's the clarity that I'm getting on this class. Not that, we had our assumptions, but it's just, we've joked it's Jeremiyah and nobody, and maybe, we can start thinking about Mike Washington as his own piece, while I've also heard people say, get ready for Mike Washington to get drafted in the 3rd round by Detroit now that they moved Monty and have Mike Washington be the Monty role. That would nuke him from our people that play fantasy football. But I think right now, man, Jadarian Price, you show up lighter than I thought you were going to be. And then you run slower than you probably should have because of that lighter frame. It's just everybody here is a committee back. Jonah Coleman didn't impress me, during the day. Who really at this point are you excited about outside of the 2 names that we've mentioned of Jeremiyah and Mike? Is there anybody else that really excites you here, Jagger?
No, and that's actually, we named 2. What I actually put as loser is every other running back. If you're not Mike Washington, Jeremiyah Love, you lost. It just, because like you said, Jonah Coleman, another one, we got to explain stuff away where he should not have played in his whatever bowl game he was in, because we got further context on that, where their coach held their NIL money. It's if you're going, we're not going to give you this money if you're going to sit. And homie was out there with 18 touches with the bulkiest brace on. So he wasn't ready to compete, but he wasn't already going to be fast, Yeah. So I don't know. It's bad day for running backs, man.
Yeah.
Edge, decent day. We're going to get to a little bit of defense here. Some other guys that aren't as sexy, but are significant. We'll move through this one. Cassius Howell, he's a T-Rex, man. but the way he plays, I'm fine with it. 9.31 relative athletic score, 4.59 40-yard dash, 32.5-inch vertical, a broad jump, 9'7". His height and weight, 6'2", 253. Like I said, he's a T-Rex. My only thing with him, though, is he's going to be off ball a lot. He's actually effective in coverage, very versatile. He had a really, really, really good on-field drill workout day. He is now, Cassius Howell, where you at, buddy? My third edge rusher. Okay. So that's a pretty good bump for him. Like I see him going middle of the first round, which goes to my loser because he's already jumped Ruben Bain for me. I've been telling you on this show, man, that Ruben Bain, I'm just not like you guys came after me in the comments about Ruben Bain. I'm not trying to victory lap, but T-Rex arm, let's put it this way. He would have the shortest arms at 30 inches and 7/8. So shorter than 31 inches for a first round pick at edge in the last 20 years. He generates pressure, but he just doesn't blow me away. I said he's a high floor, lower ceiling. I think his floor might be a little lower, and that ceiling hasn't really moved up for me. So I don't love it, man. I don't love it.
It's fair. I saw the New York Jets account, their official Twitter account today, tweeted out like their mock draft post combine. First of all, how do you feel about that? Because I had mixed feelings about like, why is an official team account posting out their mock drafts? Like,
I didn't know this happened because I was just like, when you said that in my head, I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's are we showing our cards in the middle of the poker game? Like, what are we doing? Like,
that's the most Jets thing I've ever heard.
And I get it. It's probably it's an intern that's giving his opinion, but it's like, why are we doing this? Like, it's showing as the whatever. Anyways, they still had Ruben Bain go number 2 overall to the Jets. Do you think that is in the range of outcomes still, or do you think that this combine measurement and some of the stuff that we saw this weekend with some of the other edge rushers rising up boards, do you think that starts making teams second guess Ruben? I know you're not high, but do you think that the market or the NFL is going to react that way?
I don't know, man. And I know that's a lazy answer because what you just asked me, do I believe that the Jets would show their hand and not only that, show how stupid their hand is? Yes. And I know that's harsh. Like, I do believe the Jets would do that. Do I think other teams will make any gut reactions because of the Jets? Also, no, because they're like me and they're like, damn, never change. You know?
Yeah. I think their mock, they posted the 4 pictures because they have 2 seconds and 2 firsts, right? And so they posted the pictures of all the players they were drafting, and it was like Ruben Bain, Mekhi Lemon was their other first round pick. Then they took Kaden McDonald, and I can't remember the other guy that they took.
What? Okay.
Yeah, like those are all the players that they were drafting.
Do me a favor when we're done with this. I need you to put that tweet in the group chat if you can, or if there's a screenshot. I need to look at this because like everything you said was kind of alarming and wrong, and the Jets are never going to be good.
Ron Stewart, if you guys are in the fantasy football space, Ron Stewart is the guy who like I saw it from because he quoted it and he was like, we just can't be serious right now. He's a Jets fan.
Yeah, because like Fernando Mendoza, write it in stone, 101. How would you take Ruben Bain over Arvell Reese? That's nuts. Because like my big thing, like I didn't even mean to spend this time on it, but we have to now, is like Aaron Glenn, and I talked about this with several other people in Indianapolis. Aaron Glenn, I'm going to get real for you a second. This whole like black coach thing, whatever on there, I'm like, Aaron Glenn's going to make us look bad, man. Like, no, don't let me down, Aaron Glenn. Cause like you're supposed to be this defensive guru and like go out there. You have Arvo Reese, you have a Micah Parsons potentially. All you need to do is develop him a little bit. If you puss out and don't go draft him because, well, he doesn't develop. Who are you? They drafted you to be a defensive guy. You have a year where you have 0 turnovers. You trade Sauce Gardner. You have Arvo Reese right there, and you're going to take Ruben Bain number 2 instead. Like, I'm sorry for it's going to set us back as coaches. It's going to set the Jets back. That would be bonkers. I hope I'm wrong.
I thought you were going to bring up Sleepgate for Aaron Glenn. Did you see this?
Oh, is there more? Is there more?
There's more. It's Sleepgate right now for Aaron Glenn. They cut to him on the broadcast, the national broadcast there on NFL Network. He's asleep during the drills. He's sleeping at his desk while they're working out on the football field. And then everybody's like, how are we about to be sitting here with the number 2 pick, 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and the head coach of the damn football team is asleep at the NFL Combine?
Dude, man, like, it's just, I want him to be good, but like when the Jets hired Aaron Glenn, I'm like, really? Like, you know, so, and it's, oh man, if you're a Jets fan, I'm sorry, man, tap in, you know, I'll give you a pity heart. That we're thinking about you if you come.
At least you get to draft some rookies this year.
Yeah. Let's put it this way, y'all. You're going to be drafted early in an exciting class in 2027. You know, I hate to even joke like that. So we're going to go talk about something else. I got a hot take, another hot take. I actually don't even think it's hot anymore. I just think that it's Monday. More people are going to think this. We're going to move to offensive tackles. Winner, Monroe Freeling. Relative athletic score, 9.99. 40-yard dash, 4.93. Vertical jump, 33.5 inches. Broad jump, 9 foot, 7 inches. Dude is an absolute hoss. 6'7", 315 pounds. And he played for Georgia. That's significant. A lot of SEC time. Means he practices against a lot of good people. He's my number 2 prospect behind Arvell Reese now. He's jumped every offensive tackle. That's not just because of the Underwear Olympics. I just didn't get to his tape until I was there because he was like literally right next on my list. And then I see him go out there do that. I'm like, all right, well, let's hustle. Let's get there. And he does everything that you want as a prospect. The Jets, and I'm not trying to pick on the Jets, man. I would rather you take Monroe Freeling as an offensive tackle than Ruben Bain because the upside's there. He's someone that he has all the he doesn't have any of the questions that Will Campbell had. He played in the same conference. I just think the upside's there. We go to losers. Spencer Fano, short arm strike again. I'm not sure if Will Campbell having one bad performance against the best defensive line in the NFL is enough, but there's so much correlation between short arms. So also playing at Utah matters. So I know you're not as deep in the trenches, you know, no pun intended, as far as the offensive tackles are, but like, how are you on the short arm thing? Are you like buying into it? There's just so much correlation there, you know?
Yeah, it's tough, man, because you do have guys like Campbell, who I do think is like a truly, really talented offensive lineman. But, you know, people were questioning whether or not he should play guard or whether or not he should play tackle. And I think it does maybe have a little bit of correlation here. For me, Fano's a guy that I think is probably going to be flirting in that mid to late first round, that maybe even if teams do start caring about that a little bit more, they have the recency bias of Will Campbell. Is he a guy that falls into the early second round? Like, would you be surprised if he ends up falling top of the second round because of some of the measurements there?
I think offensive tackle. So I got Blake Miller is on my list. I graded him last year. I liked him a lot. Was surprised he decided to stay, but I think Clemson thought they were going to compete for a championship. But offensive tackle, so spotty, and I thought his tape was so good that I would just go out and a team is going to take their shots, because I'm under a lot of people who got it stuck in their head that like offensive guard, it's not worth it to take that high. I don't know, man. You look at one of the good times that the Cowboys had where they had good draft years. They didn't give a shit, and they were taking inside offensive linemen in their first round, and they built a dominant offensive line. All I care about is if you draft someone who can anchor a part of your team, it's fine. So even if you draft Spencer Fano, you got to move him to right tackle or you move him to guard. His tape was so good that I think it's just going to be a foundational piece on your offensive line, and you should take him. I don't know. Basically what I'm saying, I don't care where you play on the offensive line as long as you're a baller, because all teams need it. And you need to take that shot. Because like you said, man, I think Will Campbell's talented. The recency bias is so strong that people forgot that Will Campbell had a great season. He had a bad game. He didn't have a bad season, you know. So
yeah, no, 100%. Exactly. very valid. And he's coming back from injury. He was playing hurt in that Super Bowl, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
He came back and they rushed him back because we didn't think he was going to come back. They're like, well, we need you, dog. You know,
Yeah,
so
we're playing in the Super Bowl. I'm not missing this game. I'm going to play 50% just because I can.
Yeah, and our offensive line, as a Pats fan, is so bad that 50% of Will Campbell is 100% better than the guy behind him. So let's put it that way. I think the underwear Olympics makes it really easy for us to nitpick certain things, and we build our little charts and yada yada, and we say that this guy sucks. And I'm not ready to say that. So did I bump down Spencer Fano? A little, you know.
Is that mainly because you're moving other guys up a little bit?
Yes, like
it's like the default bump.
Yeah, Cassius Howell moved up. I had to move up Monroe Freeling, you know, so he came down a little bit. Like, it's just that you nailed it, dude. Like he didn't fall down. Other guys jumped him, and I would still be happy if my team drafted Spencer Fano. We're going to move to the tight ends. Hot dog, baby. Hot dog.
Real winners of the combine this week, and I feel like this was the biggest group that I think impressed.
Yes, man. Kenyon Sadiq. Just phenomenal. 9.58 relative athletic score, 4.39 40 nuts. Vertical jump 43.5, broad jump 11 foot 2 inches. Bench press, he actually did it. 26 reps, dog. And this is at 6'3", 241. That'll do it, man. That'll do it. He's a great blocker. There are questions because he has one of the lowest yards per route run that we've seen that doesn't really correlate. But with tight end, athleticism matters more as far as correlation to success. And I think this was why I tell people that tape matters. He's such a good blocker, and that other guy that they had there was solid enough receiver. You're going to keep Kenyon Sadiq in and send the other guy out. So he's a victim of his own success. I'm still very, very excited about him. Eli Stowers, and here's where me and you know, we love some Stowers on there. 9.46 relative athletic score, 4.51 40-yard dash, vertical jump. 45.5 record. Broad
ridiculous.
Jump. Yeah, broad jump, ridiculous. 11 foot 3 inches. I think that's one of the best out of the entire combine, just right there. And he's 6'4", 239. Solid. That'll do it. You know, eat a steak a couple of times. We'll get you over 240. You know, I feel like it'll be there. Dude has played tight end 2 years. Yep. He was the entire offense in 2024. Diego Pavia coming in. Yeah, he wasn't as significant as part of the offense, but guess what? He still led in every statistical category for receiving, even though that year. Who's your tight end one out of these two guys?
I'm still going Sadiq. I think Sadiq just profiles as the better guy to get some draft capital. I think he still profiles as the better all-around player, because when I watch Eli Stowers' film, there's still one thing that obviously you cannot test at the combine for the most part that I think is going to benefit, or I guess keep him off the football field a little bit. It's the fact that he doesn't block very well. Eli Stowers is not a great blocker. Kenyon Sadiq, I can throw him out there 100% of the plays, and I know he can do something during 100% of the plays because he can go out and be a receiver for me, or he can sit there as an extension of my offensive line and be used in that blocking game, whether it be run or pass. So I think Sadiq's the guy that I still would lean. But Stowers, I mean, he's a guy who's starting to really rapidly climb up a board, and we really liked Stowers early on. I mean, I had a conversation with you just 2 weeks ago, maybe it was. And I was like, I'm going to end up being way higher than consensus on Stowers. And now it feels like consensus is starting to really rapidly catch up with me and you where we were at with him, because it just showed on tape, man. He was a receiving threat. He's a receiving weapon. He can be used really well. He's a guy that I think if you put him in a role in the NFL similar to what Ben Johnson's trying to do with Colston Loveland, you could really get some production out of Stowers.
I agree 1,000% because, like, I don't know if you know Max Toscano, but he's now the tight end guy for reception perception. Met with him in Indy on here, and we were joking back and forth. And like, I don't know if you see Donnie Darko, but he had like a meme where he said there, I was just like, I love Eli Stowers. He's like, do you love him for tight end reasons or do you love him for wide receiver reasons? I'm like, wide receiver reasons.
Yep.
And that's like how I am with Stowers, because like, if you are just in a vacuum and what you need from a tight end, it's Kenyon Sadiq. But I'm circling teams like the Broncos, the Chiefs, and how they use tight ends, where I I'm just going to say, I think he deserves Brock Bowers usage, where it's just like this guy's going to be playing inline and receiving so much and be a top target where it doesn't matter. That's where I'm at. But you're right about Kenyon Sadiq. Another honorable mention I don't have on here, I've brought him up. You've heard me brought him up. Eli Raridan is getting some serious steam from Notre Dame. Like, I know for some, just because the tight end reasons, and Max Toscano is one of them where he's tied in too, I would be on the lookout. The losers, unathletic vets, man. Some of the, like Michael Mayer wants a trade. What are you trading for Michael Mayer when I could draft Eli Raridan? I could draft Michael Trigg. Didn't do a lot of testing, but he's someone who's interesting. There's a lot there. Max Clare. Marlon Klein is someone who is athletic. He just played for Michigan. There's something there. Tight end's going to have a huge changing of the guard, I think. I don't know if you're there or not. So
yeah, no, I am. And we've had a changing of the guard, I think, at the tight end position for the last couple of years. Like, it just feels like every year, I put this in one of my group chats that I'm in, where it's like, I feel like every year we just get blessed with another great tight end class. And this just keeps happening year after year after year after year. And we're just seeing this, continue to stack on. It feels like since the, what class was that? It was, Laporta, and it's the Mayer class. It was Laporta and Kincaid. Like, it feels like that class on every year we've gotten 2, 3, 4 new starting tight ends in the NFL because of the NFL draft. So I think we could have it. I will say I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't see Max Clare run, because he's a guy that I wanted to watch at the combine. I wanted to see him run because his tape is good. I like what he does as a receiver, and I think he's very well rounded, but I wanted to see him kind of run a little bit more as like a athletic receiving option, and we didn't get to see him run. So like, I still have questions right now as to whether or not he's fast enough to be a true receiving threat at the next level.
We're 51 minutes in, so that means we've got your watch time. If you're still here, if you bail, we got you. It's cool. It's conspiracy theory time.
That's like, where are we going with this? Because this is about to get off the rails.
Conspiracy theory time. It's this is on the ground in Indy about, and I say you do data analysis just like everyone. We all study data, no matter where you are at within this league. I think they told a lot of guys not to run because we know how fast they are, and they want to have a narrative. The big thing is Xavier Worthy's gonna beat is gonna beat the combine record. We're gonna give someone a fucking island if they beat it. We don't have that this year, so now they're like, this is the fastest combine ever, the least amount of people participated ever. And a lot of the guys that didn't test, you got to say that they're going to test slower. So if we take the slow guys out, we're going to have a higher average. They broke five position groups in a row were the fastest ever. Statistically, that doesn't happen. It's a little weird, man. It's a little weird. And I heard some people say that they clocked Kenyon Sadiq slower. Not that he was slow. A 4.4 is great. 4.39, that's not even on tape that we see it that fast quite often,
Well, even on the broadcast, you had Daniel Jeremiyah and Rich Eisman, who were like, they were like, it could come in as a 4.39. Like, it says 4.4 right there, but it could come in as a 4.39. We'll see on the official number once we get the official number. And everybody's like, are they juicing these numbers right now today? Like, it
feels weird, dude. It feels weird. Guys, let me put it this way. In data analysis, you shouldn't count on records being broken multiple times. In 5 outliers in a row usually means that something is wrong. I just want to point that out there. I'm not crazy.
Good process there. Yeah, good process.
Yeah. All right. That was conspiracy time. We're going to move to interior defensive lineman. I'm going to move quickly through here. Prime example, Zane Durant, 9.22 relative athletic score, 4.75 40-yard dash, 33.5 vertical, broad jump, 9 foot 4 inches, 6'1", 290, little tuna can. I didn't love his tape that much. He's a Penn State guy with not a lot of polish. This is why I say that, yeah, he had a really good relative athletic score. This means that he's going to get drafted. It may bump him around. If this guy goes first round, I think someone's made a mistake. Losers, Lee Hunter, Texas Tech. Texas Tech had a great defense. Lee Hunter is a big part of that. This dude had a 3.72 relative athletic score. Damn. This is why I wanted to point out, thank you for competing, dog. Like, it matters to me that you just went out there. Like, Dante Corleone didn't go out there and test. I know he's very chode-like as well, 6'1", 300 pounds. But you went ahead of him for me just because you went out and tried to do some reps. So, but they weren't great. So I don't think he's going second round anymore. Let's put it that way. Linebackers, this is where I wanted to get to. Jacob Rodriguez. Heard people say that I don't think Jacob Rodriguez goes first round because I'm worried about athleticism. Nana boo boo. My boy ran 4.57. He had a 9.23 relative athletic score, 39.5 vertical, great vertical. Broad jump, 10 feet 1 inches, good. 3 cone drills, 6.9, good. This is all coming at 6'1" to 231 pounds. People are like, well, why are you so high on him? Because this, and this. Transferred as a scholarship quarterback. And he came out and won every award, 2025 Butkus, Bednarik, Nagurski, and Lombardi award winner. How is that not a top 50 player? What are we doing, guys? He's answered every question you want. He's probably one of the more safer prospects. Losers, Harold Perkins. I don't need to see anymore. Your whole thing was athleticism. We would want you to come out for 2 years and you don't test. Yikes. Jacob Rodriguez, though, man, I'm really excited about him as a prospect. I don't know if all those things I said to you don't sound good. That sounds like a top 50 player to me.
I mean, look, man, you've been on him early. I remember, I think we can go back and even fact check it. Like, you were talking about him before the Senior Bowl as somebody to watch, and then he goes out to the Senior Bowl, he performs well, then he comes out to the Combine, performs well. Like, this is a guy that you've been high on. He's been rising up boards, and yeah, I mean, everything that you're saying, like, I don't know why you don't take a shot on him. If you need a linebacker that can play sideline to sideline, Jacob Rodriguez sounds like a guy that you should probably be interested in.
Yeah. Guys, I know you think I say wild stuff sometimes, but I do my homework, and I'm just like, I'm looking all season. Like, he's a good guy. Moving to deep defensive backs, this is our last group here, and we'll keep it brief because you guys stuck with us this long. D'Angelo Pons, Short Kings, stand up, because homie had the highest vertical at like 5'8". That it's significant, and he's played well. I think he's someone who's played himself into the second round. I do think he's going to play nickel, maybe safety. I don't care. He's a ball player. Like, defense is positionless. Now he's a ball player. The real one I want to talk about is Dylan Thieneman, White Boy of the Year candidate, man. I love this kid's tape. He's a classic example where he was already kind of in a lot of people's top 50s. You go out and show out during the Combine, you go put the tape on, you're like, wow, I love what I see here. A 4.35 40-yard dash, 41-inch vertical, love it. Broad jump, 10 foot 5 inches. This guy is a legitimate, I think, deep center fielder safety that could go out and be a foundational piece of a team, man. I've seen some egregious comps. Someone said Cooper DeJean. That's racist, y'all. My comp for him is my comp for him is actually Devin McCourty. You know, I was like, really? It's like you guys only went back like 2 draft classes to the only other, like, you didn't even you went right past Reed Blankenship.
I said, white DBs, who could I comp him to? Yes. Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, it's like, what? Cooper DeJean's a good tackler. Now, granted, he had a good tackle rate, but like, my biggest thing in Dylan Thieneman's profile is he does a lot of those hip drop, I'm going to drag you to the ground tackles. It doesn't work in the NFL, and that's also a penalty.
It's going to cost you some money there.
Yeah, like that's so there's no thump there, but great cover guys. So like, I saw Lance Zierlein tweet this, and I'm like, man, you shouldn't have said that. He said, don't scout skin tone. And I'm like, why would you have to see that? And then I saw the Dylan Thieneman comp. I'm like, I guess he really did have to say that.
You shouldn't have to, but you did. Look, man, I think he's a guy that's probably worked his way. I mean, can we say that he's a late first round guy now?
Yeah. It's if someone wants to trade in, like, it's not, to me, he has a late first round profile. Let's put it that way. He's like, to me, he's a confirmed top 50 player. Let's say, depending on what the Bengals were doing, if I'm the Bengals, I'm trying to get someone in the front where I'm drafting at, and then I'm trying to get him in the top of the second round as well. Because like the only thing that's going to stop him is positional value. Like hot take, I like him for cost more than Caleb Downs. I know. Go ahead and downvote me.
I mean, I think of like my team, right? Like I'm a Vikings guy. We got Harrison Smith, who's like on his last legs here in Minnesota. Like,
he's not retired?
You trade? No, he's still got some juice, man. Come on, don't hate on the hit, man. But he's on his last legs here. It's like we need an eventual safety replacement. I wouldn't mind Minnesota trading back, getting some value to kind of beef up some of that draft capital and take a guy here like Dylan.
Yep. Loser Jermon McCoy. If you've not played football 450 days and people think you're a top 10 pick and you're still not ready to test, that's not good, dog. That's not good. Congrats. You've just fell to the second round. Your teammate outperforms you. There's Mansour Delane. There's the D'Angelo Pons just played well. That's just not great, man. Like 450 days. You decided not to play because Tennessee fell off and you wanted to work for this moment. That's not good, man. You don't.
And the
dog in you is a Chihuahua. So
yeah, that's not great.
No. That'll do it, folks. That is our risers and fallers. I'm going to try to talk big board with the group. We're going to try to move to 3 shows like this a week and not so many of like the little stuff. And then Friday, we're going to do another mock draft with the team. I don't know if we're going to get Jared back. I hope we have Jared back for that one, but stay in for that. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe button. As always, it's me, Jagger May. That's Andrew Mott. Love you, and we'll see you next time.
Peace out.